But you are right that she is Muslim, and it is such an insightful point that you make, that in the Muslim majority country of Malaysia, Muslims are subjected to two types of systems of justice, one being the secular civil system and the other being Sharia courts. And so it is under the Sharia court system that this Muslim bookstore manager was targeted. So if she had been, for example, a Chinese Malay, a non-Muslim, she would have been okay. But because she is Muslim, she is now extra vulnerable to the whims of Islamic authorities. And so what you have in Malaysia, crazily enough, is a system in which Muslims have fewer rights than non-Muslims. Yeah. And this is the segregationist logic that is alive and well in a country that, claims to be all about pluralism and diversity.
Yes, and when people accuse you or me of being Islamophobic, for goodness sake, most of the victims of this are Muslims. But then you made this point, and it's absolutely central, because we're told over and over again that Malaysia and Indonesia are the two countries that have got it right. These are moderate, pluralistic Islamic countries. What you're saying is that ain't true.
Well, it was true at one point, but I can honestly tell you that only a few years later, it has become quite untrue. And back to Indonesia for a quick second. This is the world's largest Muslim majority country. It has a secular constitution. There was a time when I could go to Indonesia just 4 years ago with a book with a far more provocative title than Allah, Liberty, and Love and be warmly received, Michael. But only 4 years later, most of the places where I was supposed to have presented in Indonesia canceled my events for security reasons, and we found that even the police have become complicit in the in the actions of the radicals. At one point, the very first public event I did in Jakarta, when we were scurried away from the event because extremists were now at the door. Yeah. My team and I arrived at a brand new hotel with a much more security to it, and somebody told us that the office of the Jakarta police chief had just tweeted out the hotel that we had arrived at. Okay? So how's that for safety and security?
It's incredible. And what is so fundamentally worrying is that if you look at the trend here, Pakistan, Egypt, Turkey, Indonesia, Malaysia, even Jordan, countries that were relatively pluralistic, or if not pluralistic, moderate, the trend is all in the wrong direction now.
You're absolutely right. It is all in the wrong direction, and what we're finding, at least what I'm finding, is that it's not only because of religion, it is also because many of these governments are caving. They are wanting to sort of show global investors that we have stability in the country. Right. So instead of fighting against the radicals who create instability, they are compromising with the radicals, and people, ordinary people whose rights are being trampled on constitutionally, feel that they have nowhere else to turn, because if they do complain to the police, guess what? Since the police is complicit, these are the people who complain who are going to find themselves, with a raw deal the very next day. But if they don't complain, then of course the violence continues. So you can see the catch-22 that a lot of Malays and Indonesians find themselves in.
Yeah. How about you personally? Are you prepared to, you've got to take care of yourself. Are you going to travel to these countries again in the near future?
You're darn right I'm going to. I absolutely will. I never allow radicals of any kind to stop me from exercising my free will. That doesn't mean that I'm going to be cavalier and, go with no security. Sure. But, Lady Gaga was supposed to be doing her concert in Jakarta very shortly after my book tour there, and she outright canceled because of what is happening, And I say that if you are going to be truly an advocate of anti-bullying, then you can't let extremists or their lackeys among the police and the government bully you into silence. With me, that's never going to happen.
Well, you know what? Lady Gaga is no Irshad Manji on so many levels. Hey, my love, it's always a pleasure.
From your lips to every conservative's ears, Michael.
It's always such a pleasure. So proud to call you a friend. You take care. We'll have you back soon. Thank you.
I sure will. Thank you, friend. Bye-bye.